Skinny Pablo wasn't always my name, too. I had a name before that who was, in my opinion, a little more infamous, especially in Los Angeles. So the name Skinny Pablo was given to me by members of the rap group Cypress Hill.
Wow, what an honor. I'm so jealous because I love Cypress Hill.
Oh,
gosh.
Cypress Hill. Yeah, so, when I was working with Be Real and all that, somebody just said, I think the series Narcos was really big at the time, and I had a mustache, and someone said, you look like a
mustache.
Yeah, and they're like, you look like a Skinny Pablo, and we all just stopped. It was like, Skinny Pablo, that's a cool name. Someone's like, yeah, you should use that as a name. And I'm like, I like good ideas, so let me see that and see what happens. And then I started using that name, and now I'm in Italy on a podcast, so I think it was a good choice.
Benvenuti, welcome to The Next Generation. With me, your host, Giulia Stocchetti. Join me as I take you on a journey to discover young stars of the Italian food and wine world. Pronti? Andiamo! Hello, hi everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of The Next Generation on the Italian Wine Podcast. Today is going to be a really kind of special edition because I can say I'm here with an artist with the super huge capital A. I'm here with Skinny Pablo, who is a musician, who is a wine enthusiast, who is a fashion designer, who basically lives for art and really nice things, I can say. Welcome, Skinny.
Welcome. Thank you for having me, Giulia, and the Italian Wine Podcast. What is up?
Thank you so much to you because you've traveled quite a lot to come over here, and it took some time off from your activity of making art and being creative. So how was your trip to Verona?
The trip was wonderful. I've been on trains for maybe 20 hours. I don't really know, but it's been about a whole day of travel, and it's not taking time away from my creativity because on the road, I'm writing about my experiences, just living and the experience of life. That's a art form in itself, how you handle things, and especially when you're on the road by yourself. So it's a pleasure to travel out this way, and it's my first time in Italy, so I'm very happy to be here.
Oh wow, first time.
Yeah, I had some pasta before coming over here at I can't remember the name of the restaurant, but it was recommended to me by a winemaker.
I guess it was La Greppia.
La Greppia.
Yeah, you texted me something like, you were having lunch there, and was like, wow, he knows where to go to enjoy good food and good wines in Verona.
That was exceptional. Like I said, I'd never been to Italy before. I've been so excited to try the food. So that was a good entry into Italian food. It was beautiful.
So you had pasta, right?
It was the house pasta, or it's 3 pastas. They give you 3
small courses, just like a tasting menu, let's say, of pasta.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, pasta tasting menu. It was beautiful. Every bite was wonderful. And the salad there was, exceptional. I haven't had a salad so fresh, in my life, I think. So it was beautiful.
That's what people say when they come to Italy. They're also amazed and impressed because the food is so fresh. It's grown in the area, we can say. So, yeah, I'm so happy you enjoyed it. And you have some wine too, or just...
I did have some wine. I think I wrote down what I had, actually. So I'm unfamiliar so much with Italian wines. They've come across in dinner parties, but I just had no idea what I was looking at. I'm a Mosel Riesling enthusiast, connoisseur of sorts, but when it comes to Italian wine, I'm like a baby. I don't know what I'm doing, so it's exciting to learn. And let's see.
It's like part of the creative process, when you discover something new and you just dig deeper in.
Yeah, it's like finding a new band or a new genre of music or anything in that aspect.
First of all, was white, was red, or was sparkling?
It was a white wine.
From the area, or
it's from the area.
So it might be Soave or Lugana or Custoza.
Tenuta del Ugolino. I think that's Verdicchio di Gessi Classico Superiore.
Okay, Verdicchio dei Castelli di Jesi. Oh, wow, it's one of my favorite Italian wines, Verdicchio. Okay. And that's from Le Marche. That's a small region in central Italy.
Okay.
So, you had definitely something Italian, and it's one of the most historic white wines we have. So did you enjoy? That's the most important thing.
Oh, yes, I enjoyed it. It was a beautiful moment in my life, and I enjoy all the moments. But yeah, Italian wine, I'm learning about it just here and there, and it's been great. It's wonderful to think about. And
yeah, we don't have something like Riesling from Mosel, but we have like a kaleidoscope of other flavors. So yeah. I'm sure you're going to find something interesting. And hopefully maybe one day you're going to also make something creative out of your Italian experience, like Italian wine and food and people experience. So.
Oh yeah, it inspires the music and yeah, the wine aspect. I'm excited to dive more into it because there's certain things in Italian wine that we have none of that in Germany, or I wouldn't say none of that, but out here, just some of the wines I've tried, there have been blends. So I'm unfamiliar with blends. They're like a chef in the barrel. When they go into the barrel, they'll be blending 4 different grape varietals, and it achieves a balance from that intervention of mixing. Whereas in the Mosel, it's usually just Riesling and whatever the weather gives us. So it'd be like high acid, this and low acid, whatever sweetness, but they don't do blends, so it's pretty cool. So what wines do you recommend as, let's say I'm someone, I don't want to have to spend my whole life tasting through all these Italian wines. What are the ones that you say are essential?
I think there are no essentials, but there are maybe some benchmark wines that made Italy famous throughout the world. And historically, these are like the Chianti red wines, the Soave white wines, super Tuscans, starting from the 70s, still from Tuscany. But you know what? I love wines from all over the peninsula because literally there's unique terroir everywhere. And so I think all Italian wines are worth to be tried. Then, of course, you have your personal preferences, but, it's kind of like music. Depending on how you feel, what you feel like, you go for something. And I guess wine and music sometimes are quite similar because you're constantly like exploring, discovering something new and just tasting something new. And then you realize what you like or what you really loved in a moment of your life. Maybe later like, did I really used to drink that wine? It's like, did I really used to listen to that music? And the answer is yes, because you were building your own experience and understanding who you were to become who you are. So I think wine and music are quite close. And I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You started making music first or tasting wines?
Definitely music. I didn't start tasting wine until maybe 2019. So cool. I'm fairly new to it, and I was introduced from my mentor in wine / good friend, Soil Pimp, aka Robert Dentis. So you can find him online. He's pretty much the number one Riesling. He's the Riesling guru. In the Riesling community, he's like their guy.
I guess when people should know him, definitely.
Yeah, wow. Soil Pimp. So, the way I really got involved was that he put me on to Mosel wine. He said, what do you think about this wine? And this comes back from, we were talking off air about my history in podcasting. And so for 7 years, I was working on this podcast, this network called Be Real TV, where, we were smoking tons of weed every single day. And there came to a point where breeders would come to the studio with all these new varietals of cannabis. Wow. And there was one time where we had what was essentially blind tasting maybe 70 different types of cannabis. And
all in one day?
It lasted more than one day, but we had to do it all day pretty much for a week or two, maybe a month. I don't know. But every single day over there was just tasting, studying cannabis. And
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and so
So you're like a cannabis som, let's say.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, pretty much. I'd say that's, if I wanted a career in that, could probably make it happen. Although I did work in it. But so Soil Pimp found out that I was participating in activities like that, and he said, well, okay, he has a palate for weed. What do you think of this wine here? And how would you rate it? Because what we were smoking at that studio is arguably like the most high tier, best stuff in the world, top rated. And for those of you who don't know, Be Real TV was started by Be Real of Cypress Hill, So the rap group Cypress Hill, which were, they were key figures in the legalization of cannabis in the U.S. through their music and all that stuff. So yeah, we were going through pretty much the DRC of weed at the studio all the time. And yeah, Soil Pimp found out. So he asked me about the wine, the Mosel wine, and I didn't know anything about wine. He just gave me this glass and I say, this is like a 9 out of 10. For my palate, it was, I think it was a Keller. I don't think it was Mosel Riesling, but Rheinhessen might have been Mosel, but
yeah, Rheinhessen is close, so they're quite different, but basically German Riesling.
It was just a top-tier German producer, and when I tasted it, it started changing me, like my relationship with, drinking for me was, okay, I'm going to go to the store and just get, a strong beer. I didn't know anything about anything, and so he made me skip the line in German wine. He said, here are the producers that you want. They're high acid, they're quirky people, to like the winemaker themselves. That's what made me even fall in love with the wine more, was to know that some of these winemakers out there were just different, such as there's this winemaker named Uli Stein. His wine goes under Stein wine, so popular in the U.S. Like nobody in Germany knows who he is. And even in the Mosel, they don't really know who he is, but in the United States, he's like a rock star. He's in his 70s making wine. He's been doing it since he's a little kid, and he listens to crazy jazz music like Sun Ra and John Coltrane and just all this high-level stuff that you wouldn't expect someone in the middle of nowhere, as they say, Germany, to be listening to.
Is he also involved in your Paris Mosel?
Yes, so Paris Mosel,
he's the one who says, like, I learned from the past to find inspiration to make wines to be drank now or something.
Yeah, precisely.
Oh my God, I love that part. It's amazing. And that's him.
Yeah, he's special. The way he describes wines. When you talk to this man, Uli Stein, about wine, he just immediately lights up and he can give you all the information on winemaking. Like, he's a master of it. You just ask him anything about winemaking and he'll give you instructions. I told him one time, I said, Uli, I want to make wine. And he said, don't do that. It's like, you don't want to do that. And he's a smart man. So I'm like, okay. Getting involved in wine, I've had the pleasure of picking grapes at his vineyard. And so back to the project Paris Mosel, this was actually an idea of Soil Pimp. Robert, we came out to Germany. It was my first time outside of the U.S. We came to taste at Stein and Lauer and all these great German wine producers, including Egon Müller. That was a good one. But when we went to Uli Stein's vineyard, he has a grand piano at his house, and he lives in this hotel built in the 1800s on top of a mountain that has a vineyard. So Soil Pimp said, he asked Uli, he said, hey, can Skinny stay here and compose a record? During the harvest time, I think it would be good energy for music and the wine and all that. So I stayed with Uli Stein for maybe 2 months, just morning, noon, and night, playing his piano, making beats or making rhythms and music production. And yeah, so he was a key figure in that. And every night I'd spend with him, staying up till 3 or 4 in the morning, just tasting all his wines. He would go to his cellar, pull out some stuff that you would never see on the internet, or he'd pull out some stuff. He'd say, hey, you can't take pictures of this. Oh, you can't show anybody this wine. I don't even know if I should talk about it. No, but it's okay.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. So yeah, big shout out to that man, Uli Stein. I wouldn't have been able to do Paris Mosel Part 1 without his presence. Yeah, it was just a perfect moment. And my first time, traveling out here in Europe, abroad, and also making a record. That was my premiere debut album. Most of the time I've dropped like little tapes here and there and singles, but to actually put a record together and film it, put it to some visuals through my experience of my travels between Mosel and Paris.
So at that time you were based in Paris, or you were already in the Mosel?
At that time, I was living in Los Angeles. So
okay.
I came out to taste wine. So the way it goes, I came out to taste wine with...
How did it happen? So
oh, all right.
From the US to Paris Mosel.
So rewind. So 2019, I started getting into wine, and then 2020 comes around. We have the pandemic, the closures, but Robert, before that, he was hosting this event called Riesling Study, which was a small dinner, maybe, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 people show up, bring your own bottles of Riesling, and you do it in New York City. And then one day, rewind again to where we met at this place. It was where I would go buy records called Rap Cats. And so a friend of ours owns that place. And everybody in LA that loves looking for great records, they would go to this pop-up for vinyl. And it's called Rap Cats, but Soil Pimp would always bring wine for everybody. He would just share Riesling. You know, he's the prophet of Riesling, as we say. So he would just share German wines for everybody who's buying records. And that's how it got started. And during that time, he said, hey, I want you to DJ my parties, you know, these Riesling study parties. Like, okay, I'm there, you know, that sounds like a great time to me. As I just started learning about Riesling and wines. And so the pandemic came around and everybody had to stay at home. But he would set up flights of wine to be sent my way so I could study. So it would be French wines, American wines, German wines, all this stuff. But I just gravitated straight towards these high acid German Riesling. I didn't know anything about it. But I'm like, why do I enjoy this wine so much? Not so much more than the others, but I'm like, why does it stand out so much? And then you find out who's making it and the terroir and how it's made. And it's only possible in these conditions, certain climate and surroundings. So through that, started playing these Riesling study parties, and then I started getting more connected in the wine world and wine bars and traveling all throughout the United States till one day, I was at a dinner and they invited me to Germany. They said, hey, Skinny, you've done so much for German wine. We want to fly you out to Germany to come taste for a couple days. Do you have time? I said, yes, I do. So what was supposed to be an 8-day-long trip, at the end of the 8 days, I'm supposed to DJ a party for all the winemakers in the Mosel, a Riesling study. And when that happened, around that time, my plane ticket got canceled or something like that. So something weird happened with my plane flight. It got canceled. So I was just like, okay, well, because the idea was I was going to go back to the U.S. and then come back and record during the harvest time.
Okay.
But my plane ticket got canceled. And I said, well, I could just stay out here for, until my visa runs out. So I couldn't stay in the Mosel. Saw where can I go? And then I saw Paris, not too far from the Mosel. So Pim said, yeah, Paris Mosel is great. That's a great idea. That's what you want to do. So I was thinking, okay, I'll go there, check out Paris. I've never been. Let's just see what it's like. It was a great feeling to go there for the first time. And, someone told me, welcome home. So I took that in my head. I was like, okay.
That's fantastic when that happens.
Yeah, so it really does feel like home to me over there in Paris. Like, it just, the vibe of it is very, very much like me. A lot of leisure. There's benches everywhere. You can just sit down and do nothing. I really love that, just sitting down, looking at people. Sometimes I'll bring my drums out. I don't know, just...
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, you play your drums, on the street?
I did it for my first time in my life, maybe a month ago, where they call it busking, where someone just plays music in the street. I didn't put a hat out or anything. I just wanted to try it. Mm-hmm. I have this portable drum set, so I was thinking, okay, I'll just come to this park and start playing and see what happens. And
do you have it here with you today?
No, I almost brought it around, but the travel was so long that I was thinking that I will be in pain if I carry around my drum set.
Because it's quite heavy, or it's big to carry around? It's
not big and it's not too heavy, but if you have to carry it for 10 hours, then it starts to get heavy.
Oh, yeah, I know. I totally understand.
Yeah, so it's really fun. So I did that a few weeks ago, just play drums. Yeah, we had, Soil Pimp was out here with his wife, Chef Renee, and my girlfriend in Paris. We all went out to the park one day, and I brought the drum set and played. And it was such a strange feeling because there were all kinds of people there. I mean, there's thousands of people walking around in Paris, and at the park you have, all the babies started to gravitate towards me. All the children gather around, and they're just staring at me, and mom's dancing, babies dancing. And I was just thinking about it. I've never had that happen to me before at any of my gigs. I usually DJ at a club where it's just a bunch of, people trying to get drunk, as opposed to playing for a baby that's probably never seen someone play drums in their entire life. It might be the first time they're witnessing a musician. It was a special feeling to be able to go out and do that. And Yeah, music so makes me so happy.
Yeah, it reminds like opening a bottle of wine. Like when you start playing music, people gather around and enjoy and have fun and are also happy and joyful and feel like sharing. And the same, I
Yeah.
guess, happens with a good bottle of wine. Like you
Oh,
open the bottle and everyone starts like sipping and tasting, and then they all become friends.
oh
And
yeah.
that's why I always say wine is like sharing love.
Mm.
Because you're sharing something, you talk about something, and it's also culture, like music.
Yeah.
Because before you started playing out there on the street, you were practicing, you started with a mentor, and you learned, and you're still improving like day by day or every time you play. So, and of course, I guess you play a lot of different stuff. I mean, your music is not always the same. I mean, when I listen to your like Spotify channel, or when I was also enjoying like Paris Mosel, I was so amazed that time I was just staring at the screen. And usually after like 25 seconds, I get sick of stuff
Oh.
and I just move on. And I was like, first I saw this Paris, the city, and then like those vineyards in the Mosel that look like soldiers standing with the
Oh.
whole of it. And I was like, gosh, it's already 15 minutes I'm watching this stuff.
Oh, amazing.
And I mean, I was so amazed myself because I've never seen something like that. I mean, it feels like I was really seeing the world through your eyes,
Oh.
through the artist's eyes.
The-
You know what I mean? And I think it's awesome, especially now that I know that you were filming and you also made the music, and I guess you also edited everything
Yeah.
and put it all together. I mean, you're like an holistic artist. You can do everything. You're just like absorbing from the environment and just rephrasing it and expressing yourself through your clothes, through your music, through your videos. I mean, wow, I'm so glad I got to meet someone like you. And
Thank
you
you.
found love in Paris, right?
Oh, yes.
Because you said girlfriend. So
Oh,
it
yeah, yeah.
means you got to Europe, you got to Paris by mistake, you found good people, an amazing city, and
Yeah.
love.
Yeah, the love
Wow,
found
that's
me.
amazing.
So,
Oh.
yeah, it's been a wonderful time. Yeah, everything just lines up how it's supposed to, and I ride the wave of life. I don't set too many expectations of myself. I just say, okay, this is what I'm here to do, and anything else that comes extra is amazing. So, yeah, I've met a lot of wonderful people on this journey, and I'm thankful for all of them, and yourself for being here. And yeah, happy to be here to share my story. That's what's cool about that project, Paris Mosel, is that it's singular, and I pretty much did all the work myself, I'd say. I mean, of course, I had good people in my corner to inspire me, and a special type of people in the world, the ones that encourage you to do things. So I had good encouragement from good people to pursue this project, and it wasn't supposed to be a film. It was supposed to be just an album, but I decided, I want to share this story, and it's unconventional in the way it is, because one of my aspirations to be a filmmaker, right?
Oh,
So
wow.
to be a feature filmmaker. So this thing is like a short film. I don't know if people understand it, but I've had people watch it, even without the music, watch it and like, what is this? It has something to it. And there's a little bit of magic in it, but it's basically the unfolding of a story, of my story, and you can see how I see things in the world. And I don't like to make things be about me, but I guess that's what makes it special, such as like the wines with the winemaker. It's like I could taste some wines and know it was that one guy who was involved in it. And if he wasn't involved, then it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, but
So-
I mean, it makes sense because everyone can, especially nowadays, make some music or make wines.
Yeah.
And what makes the difference is the love, the passion, and the attitude you put in it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the artist, it's the winemaker that makes the difference. And not because, like, he or she wants to show off, but because it's what they are.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the way they communicate to the world and making the world a little more special, I guess.
Yeah.
And making also people feel inspired. Because I think, like, arts always inspire people to do better, or just it reminds us that the world is beautiful. There's space for beautiful things and juicy, tasty things to eat and to drink and to share. So, yeah, I think, of course, we feel Skinny Pablo behind Skinny Pablo
Oh, yeah.
music and videos. And how did you film those clips? Like with the phone, you had some special equipment?
Special equipment at the time was my phone, which I still have to this day, the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. And
okay, you might have to cut it. It seems like a commercial. Just get that and you can do
right.
amazing stuff like Skinny Pablo. But no, guys, it's not the phone, it's the artist. Please remember.
Well, I think my phone is one of my best friends. I'd say my assistant, my everything. You know, on the topic of technology, I made the decision that I don't need another phone. This is all I need. You can make a movie on it. You can do everything you want with it creatively. And also, it doesn't matter what you use. Some people can use the most fancy recording studio, but still not execute their vision how they want. You know, you have to just be able to use whatever you have near you and make your ideas happen. That's all you need. You don't need the state of the art.
Yeah,
anything.
And about the music, like, what do you do, like, when you're creative and when you're, like, about to launch a new piece? How do you record it?
So nearly every day.
Like, how does it work?
What happens? I wake up, I just kind of look around, and I might smoke a joint, I have a tea, no breakfast, and I'll just go straight to the nearest music-making device I have. So back in the Mosel, I have a drum set and a keyboard and a computer, so I'll just go back and forth between those and just start messing around. You know, I've also learned how to use these instruments. You know, I'm not just going in not knowing what I'm doing. I get an idea, and well, the thing is with, let's say, drums, I like to start off on the drums, and you can just go in so many different places on a drum set. So getting new ideas is pretty easy. You can play a beat fast, slow, backwards, forwards, add notes, take away things, and eventually you have new music, and you start adding, layering on top of it.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Are you inspired, like, every single day you feel creative, you feel to try to do something, or some days are just like lazy days when you just want to chill and relax and do nothing? Like,
I like
there's
those
balance between the two, or you're always like on the run, being creative?
There has to be balance. Some days I just say, okay, I'm not going to make music. I'm not going to do anything today. So for me, making music is like cooking, like eating for me. It's the same thing. I cook for myself every day. I make the music every day, something new. So, and I rarely go back and work on a song for more than a day. I'm constantly building up this catalog, but for me, it's fascinating to have this thing that's also supposed to be my work and career, but just be able to wake up and somehow channel creativity. And I've done it into other mediums too, such as painting. I'm not a fine artist or anything. I like to just throw paint around. I did a lot of that last winter. I took some time off because I ran out of paint and just haven't, it's been kind of lazy to go to the store and get more paint. Painting's a lot of work.
Really?
For me, it's getting the supplies. You have to, you know, I want a giant canvas, but I can't fit that in my apartment, you know, a tiny apartment. Just choosing the paper is a problem for me. I don't know anything about paper. So I might just paint on, I don't know anything about paints, like good paints. I just get whatever is at the store. And I really liked going into painting because I get that childlike, fresh, clean slate. Because I don't know anything about painting. I mean, maybe a little bit here and there, but I'm not professionally trained in it, so I could just be whatever I want, you know, just throw paint at the wall. It's fun. It's like playing.
Wow. Then you store all your stuff in a place, or you sell it, or you put them somewhere, or just throw them away like with the cork get done last time. I can't say that.
You can be, there's no swear words, English swear words on this podcast. I've been doing pretty good because typically on my streams, I live stream every day too when I make the music. So you can watch it on YouTube.
I found it. Oh,
so
okay.
I have a YouTube channel.
Okay.
Mosai Music is my music label, I would say. It's just me, myself, but I release all my projects under my different names.
Yeah, when you say it's just me, myself, is like Skinny Pablo, the artist, the fashion designer, the musician, the wine enthusiast, the kind of painter. I mean, there's a lot of Skinny Pablo, the weed taster too. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot in just one person.
Yeah, there's how do I say, it's kind of like almost like community. You know, Skinny Pablo wasn't always my name too. I had a name before that who was, in my opinion, a little more infamous, especially in Los Angeles. So the name Skinny Pablo was given to me by members of the rap group Cypress Hill. You know, there's
wow, what an honor. I'm so jealous because I love Cypress Hill.
Oh,
gosh.
Cypress Hill. Yeah. So, you know, when I was working with Be Real and all that, somebody just said, I think the series Narcos was really big at the time, and I had a mustache, and someone said, "Yeah, you look like a
mustache."
Yeah, and they're like, "You look like a Skinny Pablo," and we all just stopped. It was like, "Skinny Pablo, that's a cool name." Someone's like, "Yeah, you should use that as a name." And I'm like, I like good ideas, so let me see that and see what happens. And then I started using that name, and now I'm in Italy on a podcast, so I think it was a good choice. But
oh wow, that's amazing! I didn't know that.
yeah, so
the origin of the name.
Yeah,
wow.
So I've had many other underground names throughout my life, nicknames, which is pretty cool. But before that was Ross Dude, like the Rasta Dude.
Okay.
So yeah, just good contrast. But yeah, being Ross Dude was a lot different than being Skinny Pablo. But it's all been fun. The changing of an artist's name and transforming as artist is constant. You know, tomorrow I don't know, maybe my name will be different. But it's a challenge to have that in your life as an artist, because you're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. But then you look at guys like David Bowie, who changed his name a few times. You know, he went through some transformations of being an artist. So it's cool, and yeah, to understand these things. And this is just how life goes, I guess.
You just start a new phase and you change your name, but the essence is the same. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In different just forms. So
Do you have a cool hip-hop name? Has anyone given you a nickname?
I'm just the wine soul girl.
Wine Soul Girl. So
But soul is not like soul music.
Okay.
It's like the soul.
Okay.
You know? It's like my soul is made up of really good wine.
Okay.
Especially 90% Riesling, because I'm a
Cork.
Riesling lover.
So Riesling, how did you find Riesling?
That's a really good question, because I've been in the wine world for more than half of my life now, and I think I will always be involved, because it's like music. You never stop exploring, you never stop traveling, you never stop tasting and falling in love. And so I found Riesling because I wasn't really a fan of aromatic varieties, but then I started to meet some people, and they were talking about this Riesling, and when I first tried Riesling, I was so amazed. I was like, oh wow. And actually it was like love at first sight. I prefer like dry Riesling, not really into sweet wines, not really into dessert wines. So that's how I discovered Riesling. And I mean, especially I love Alsace Riesling and Mosel Riesling, even if Mosel Riesling most of the time is crazy expensive to buy.
Oh.
So that's why sometimes I just travel to wine fairs and events where I know that there is good Riesling, just to try it, enjoy it, and then it's really hard for me to be able to buy really good Riesling from Germany, but you know.
No,
whatever.
it's okay. Oh man, I feel bad because I really wanted to bring some Riesling over.
Don't worry. Next time or whenever, we're gonna be able to share some Riesling for sure.
Of course.
So
yeah,
no doubts. But are you planning to stay in Europe or go back to the US or go back to your little hometown?
Oh, well, for those of you listening that don't know, I'm originally from the island of Guam. I was born and raised on this beautiful tropical island. And it does have a place in my heart. You know, no matter where I'm at in the world, I always think about home. It's a stereotype. There's no place like home, but I grew up on vacation for like 20 years, basically. I could just go to the beach, this and that. And it's cool being out in the world and learning all these things about stuff that I never had on the island or never got to experience. And it's cool to be able to go back home and bring some of these things with me. Like a few years ago, I went back to Guam and brought 2 cases of Mosel wine with me. And there's no wine shop on the island where you can just go get your favorite wines. You know, it's so far away. It's hot. It's hard to get wine there. But I brought some in, and it was hands down my favorite experience with my favorite Mosel Riesling was being on a tropical island, Riesling in the cooler. You go out, you're at the beach, you're sitting in clear, calm water with, you know, a glass of wine and bottle, and just there's 2 rainbows out and jungle and just peace, you know. So
yeah, I understand.
But staying out here, I don't know how it'll go. My ideal life is to just make a rotation around the world, you know, every couple months, like do Paris Mosel, Guam, Tokyo, maybe some stuff in the US. But it's strange because since I've been out here, I keep telling myself, okay, you have to go back to the US to tour or do something. And every time I think I need to go there, I always the thought comes back to say, I just got here. I feel like I just got to Europe, even though I've been here for 2 years. You know, there's so much to explore out here.
Oh yeah, you bet.
And, you know.
And you would go back to LA, right? That's
yeah.
where you are based most of the time, let's say. LA, New York,
yeah.
places like that.
LA, New York. I really like the Midwest.
Okay.
I feel like those are cool coming up places. I mean, Chicago and Detroit. Detroit is big on the German wine now. I mean, all these places are big on German wine, which is cool. So I know people there, but seeing the culinary and the wine and the music scene evolve in those cities has been really cool. Unfortunately, in Los Angeles, it was really hard to get my favorite wines because it would just run out. Like,
no ways.
Like the Stein I was telling you about, you go to the store and it'd be 2 bottles left and you get it, and then there's none for a few weeks. You know, you don't know when they're going to get it because the way it works in the U.S., everything comes in through New York, and by the time it gets to L.A., there's not much left in the realm of German wine, I feel.
Yeah. And they don't make much wine in the Mosel and in Germany too.
Yeah.
I mean, they make small quantities. It's not like in Italy we have like a bunch.
Yeah.
But yeah, so maybe that's one of the points. But yeah, now we're here in Europe, and I really hope you're gonna make also something like, I don't know, Verona, Guam, or I don't know, something else. I mean, I hope that you're gonna get some inspiration from this trip, from this travel, and that you're gonna taste good stuff to eat and to drink.
Oh, already. Yeah, Verona, it's so beautiful here and so quiet. And one of my great fears of coming to Italy was saying, okay, I'm going to show up. What if it's like, you know, when I first went to the Mosel and I first saw the Mosel, I just said, wow, it's so beautiful. I have to be here. And then a year later, I'm living there. You know, I figured it out. So one of my fears was coming to Italy and just saying, okay, they have pizza, pasta, they got legal weed. Like, how am I supposed to leave? Like, why would I leave? It seems like a great place. And I'm here and it's great. You know, Verona, it's beautiful here. So thank you guys for keeping it beautiful.
And also Italian wines are much cheaper.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you can find really, really outstanding quality wines for a really reasonable price. So, yeah, that's why I'm still living in Italy. That's why I decided to live here.
That's fascinating. Because in the Mosel, one of the things is that living out there, the wine is so cheap, like $3 a bottle, $5 a bottle sometimes. And you see the work that they have to do in the Mosel. It's kind of insane. It's deadly. You know, you can die on those mountains that they're working on. You know, just see the conditions every day, like how dangerous and how much hard work it is, and how they're not allowed to use machinery. Everything's hand done just because of the slopes. So now the state of the Mosel, a lot of the old vineyards are gone. You know, they're not being taken care of. There's a few people that are keeping it alive, but that's what confuses me a lot in the world of wines, is how the Mosel wine, which to me it looks like, okay, this is the hardest one to work. You know, most other vineyards I've seen photos of, it's pretty flat. You know, it's like, oh, that looks nice and friendly to work at. But it's strange to see how that doesn't increase the value. They just make it look easy, I suppose.
That's their life.
Yeah.
But it's like when people listen to your music or see your short movies or whatever, they're just like, wow, how can this person do this? It seems something like so unreal, so impossible, but like people do it because they feel it.
Yeah.
So that's why I think winemakers or musicians, artists are basically expressing themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, you can help but doing it. That's why it looks easy. So you were born for it.
Oh,
so
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, I think so.
Yeah, so expressing myself with the wine, that's one of my goals, actually, is to just have one.
It's going to be the most difficult thing you've ever done.
There's so much that goes into it, but I'm confident in saying, okay, I can do one barrel, like one barrique of wine in my lifetime. Like if I could just make one, that's good. I think I could pick the grapes. You know, I just need a friend kind enough with a cellar, basically, to store a barrel. So that's kind of where we're at. But I actually wanted to do something last year, but the frost took out so much of the grapes that there were so many extra barrels. People were offering me barrels, like, Skinny, we have barrels. I'm like, okay, let me see if I can find grapes. Couldn't find any grapes. A lot of winemakers last year were giving their barrels away because they didn't have enough berries to put in them. because of the frost.
It's a shame.
2024, that was an intense year for winemaking, especially in the Mosel. I mean, all around, just horror stories, but some people lost 100% of their vines. So it's crazy to think how rare the Mosel wines are becoming. You know, I'm seeing it firsthand. I'm seeing the vineyards go away. We're seeing this, you know, shortage of crops and how hard the work is, you know. So there's not a lot of room for, you know, people who don't put 1,000% effort into it. Just like music, I guess, you know, music. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely something I would like to get into because I see the creative aspect of winemaking. There's decisions you have to make the wine that you want, the result that you want. That's just something I really want to do just one time. But for now, you know, I've done collaborations with winemakers before. Well, I'll do the artwork, music.
Nice.
We'll put
So
it.
you also design labels.
Yeah,
Cool.
done some label design. So with Soil Pimp, we did a rosé from the Mosel that was released only in the U.S. where had a QR code on it. You click the QR code, it'll lead to a music video that I animate too. So it's like all hand-drawn animation with the music. And so, yeah, thanks to people like that, Soil Pimp, and asking me to get involved because we're doing things with wine, you know, where it's merging wine, music, events,
Yeah, I think
visuals.
it's a great idea to like attract people and like get them try some wine and enter the wine world because I think when they enter, they will never leave.
Yeah.
It's like when you find good music or good people, good food, you can just have enough and you want just more. And yeah, it's a really good way, I think, especially to attract people that usually don't even think about wine because in Italy it's normal, you know, there are vines, there are vineyards, you make wines, but in most part of the world people don't even know what a vine is. So it's not so easy to talk about wines and you never have to take things for granted. Like it's not common to share a glass of wine, it's not common to be able to listen to good music. It's, you know, everything is like a process. It takes time sometimes.
Yeah, and with these events, you know, these wine events, music-driven events with wine, you see people tasting these wines that otherwise would have never even come across them in their life, you know. So one of the coolest parties that we played was in the city of Memphis in Tennessee, which is in the south of the United States, where you just wouldn't imagine, you know, there's anything to do with wine down there, you know. But we, through a Riesling study, and it was the most people I've ever played for. I don't know, it was like a few hundred people at this old train station in Memphis, and they're all drinking our favorite wines from our favorite Rieslings, you know. They're all just drinking Riesling, which is kind of crazy to think about because Riesling in the world of wine, you know, from my understanding, that's like the stuff that the Somme likes, you know, everybody else kind of
like an underdog.
So to see just all these random people, hundreds of bottles of Riesling open and they're all loving it, it's so much fun to see because in the world of wine, I didn't have a concept of it, but how underrepresented the Mosel and Riesling is, and people in Germany don't even know about it.
Exactly.
And I'm thinking, like, how do you not know about this place? It's the best place in the whole country, you know? For me, every time I leave and I go to other places in Germany, I say, I want to go back to the Mosel. Something so special about that place. Yeah. Castles, mountains, river. It's like a fairy tale land. Yeah,
I think you should explore Italy. You'll find some places that are in a different way, but I would say cool as Mosel. And you will fall in love definitely with those places. It's a small country, but I think it takes a lifetime to explore and to taste all the wines. That's why I'm having some wine every day. I'm trying to taste all.
The food, though. The food here is, oh my goodness. I've only had one meal so far, and it was the greatest meal of my life, I think. At least in Italy so far. But pasta game. What's your place to go to for pasta?
Home.
Home?
When I cook pasta.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my favorite place with pasta, but
that's the best answer.
because I love cooking.
Oh my
I love
gosh.
cooking. Yeah, that's why I have friends coming over because they know they just ring the bell, come to my house, and just, are you up cooking something? And I'm like, well, I just open the fridge and say, I have this and this. Okay, let's make something. Anyway, in Italy, in every place you go, every restaurant, they should be able to cook good pasta.
Yeah.
You just have to choose the right sauce.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your sauce at home?
Secret.
Oh, man. Okay, all right.
No, just kidding. Whatever happens. I mean, it depends on what I have in the fridge or what I have as fresh vegetables, and I just cook it. I just improvise, like, you know, like interviews.
Yeah.
I must usually stick to a script. I have the script, and then I start, and I just get lost in translation during the same when I'm cooking. I just see what's there and just get creative. Also, depending on the wine I have. So
Wonderful.
yeah, that's me.
Forgive me. Yeah, I didn't want to ask you your secrets, but I'm always learning culinary because I cook at home a lot myself.
What do you cook usually?
Oh, recently I've been doing a lot of kimchi. I've been making lots of kimchi at home. So getting into fermentation and all that, I've been studying kimchi. As my girlfriend is from Korea, I got to try her mom's kimchi, and I was just like, what is this kimchi from Korea? Why does it taste so much better than anything I've ever tasted? So I asked for the recipe, which there's a few secrets in it, so I had to adapt. And I've been making kimchi for maybe a year now and started getting into a lot of different fermented foods. There's a book actually called The Guide to Fermentation from Noma, the restaurant Noma, if you're familiar with that. So
Everyone should know that restaurant.
I had the pleasure of eating there in 2023.
Well, how was that?
Oh, it was phenomenal. It was intense. It was the most intense meal of my life, I'd say. There was a point where I'm about to get up to use the bathroom, and the lady, I think the som there, she said, "You're not going anywhere. You're going to sit here because we have a dish coming out, and that's more important than your time to go to the bathroom." Okay, and there's people yelling in the kitchen. They're all yelling at Renee. It's like soldiers. They're like food soldiers. Yes, sir. You know, you hear... Yeah. There's a leader in the kitchen, and everybody bows and yells out, and they all have to do their task. And there's
It's a serious thing.
Yeah, there's 150 people in there. I don't know. It felt like 150 people. There's a lot of people moving around in that restaurant, and they deliver just an experience that, you know, I'm fortunate to go there once in my life, and it was strange. It definitely wasn't like eating at home.
Was good, the food?
Oh, the food was phenomenal. There was some food that I just saw it and I couldn't eat it. I had to sit there and look at it for 10 minutes before I started eating it. It just sounded, wow, it's so beautiful. It's like, It's like, what am I looking at on this plate? And they explain to you all the ingredients, and you just stare at it and think, this is such a, I don't know, so much work and effort was put into it. I like to eat fast, so if I just ate this dish that took them 3 days to make and I eat it in half a second, I feel like I'm kind of...
disrespecting the chef.
Disrespecting it, or I have to appreciate it. Even though that's my way of appreciating things. Like, oh, if I really like it, I'll eat so much of it so fast that I'll want more, you know? So, but yeah, eating... That Noma meal was definitely one of the most intense sessions, and that was with Soil Pimp and friends. We had some great wines, great company.
I was about to ask, what kind of wines? Like Italian wines, American wines, German wines?
There were no German wines. There's no Riesling. There were some natural wines. We had some sake too. Natural wines, sake, some weird stuff. I had a strange looking tea there too, but it was great. It was such a great experience. And back to the cannabis part, you know, I was like, hey, do you guys have any papers here? I don't have any papers to roll up. And they bring out to me on a special plate some rolling papers that are pink. They say, yes, you can roll up here, have a smoke outside in the garden. And their garden there, you know, they grow a lot of their ingredients around seasonal. This was vegetable season, so I got to experience that. And it was a learning experience. Every time I go out and eat, I try to learn. You know, I don't just go crazy eating just because it's fun to eat there. I mean, these places are fun, but I always go in thinking, how can I improve what I'm doing at home, you know, in the home kitchen? So always learning. And coming out here to Italy, it's been fun just to see, okay, here's some fresh pasta.
Okay, I think we should schedule another interview in the future to see if you were able then to cook pasta or to try something Italian at home that was at least edible.
Yeah, it seems like you have prized ingredients here. You know, the produce here is so good. I mean, you can get fresh produce anywhere, but it just feels a little bit different. I saw strawberries today. Walking around, saw some strawberries at the market. I mean, I don't know if they're from Italy, but still, it looks like they would taste a lot better.
Not sure this time of the year, but yeah.
They had a shape to them I'd never seen before, you know, my tasting of strawberries around I lived in California where the strawberries pretty much, I feel like they're around all year. When I was living in LA, it seems like we had strawberries all year round,
Strawberry fields forever.
Whereas out here, in Germany, it's like we get strawberries for 3 months or something like that, but 5 months, I don't know. But
yeah, because of the climate.
Yeah.
So nice. And maybe next time we're going to have also some exciting Italian wines to share with us.
Yes. I was in Paris. There was a wine expo of some kind, and I got to taste from a winemaker that's around these parts. They're really close by. He gave me a breakdown of, the wines in this area, and it was good stuff. I didn't have much time to taste with all the winemakers at this expo in Paris, but there were 3 Italian winemakers. One was kind of from the south, the other was more coastal, and you had one guy that was just from this area. So I tasted his wines, and I was really pleased to experience these wines that did have, for me, I always look for that acid, and they had a balance to them too, but they had that expression of acid and maybe some steeper slope type action. And on the train ride over here, you see the vineyards, steep mountainside, some are flat, some are mountainside, so it's...
Yeah, there are vineyards everywhere, basically.
Yeah, so I like those profiles of, the steep slopes and colder climate.
Well, nice. So thank you so much for being with us today. It was really a pleasure for me.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And please enjoy all the best that Italy has to offer.
Oh, thank you. You as well.
Thank you. Bye.
Right. Peace.
And love.
Oh, yeah.
Grazie for being with me today and listening to The Next Generation on the Italian Wine Podcast. Alla prossima. Cin cin!